Welcome to the Panic Attack Recovery Podcast, an ongoing source of practical strategies and tips for anxiety and ADHD. We're a collaboration of former sufferers helping those currently struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, and ADHD so they can express their true competencies in life. Now, here is Matthew, your host.
As this is my first podcast since the summer has ended, I wanted to talk about a phenomenon that some of you might have experienced during summer vacation, especially if you had a slow vacation time, or you took a staycation, as it's known as sometimes. In particular, students may discover this, but anyone on vacation may experience this issue. And it also doesn't only happen when one is on vacation. But I think talking about vacation time, especially given it's quite timely, can be a good way to start the analogy here. Everyone likes to have days when they take it easy. Vacations can be a great time. Many people lead up to a vacation period saying to themselves and expressing to others that they very much look forward to being able to take it easy. They look forward to having to do nothing at all. But during their time off, they don't have a plan to do anything. This is not always a problem, but for sufferers of anxiety and ADHD, a lack of routine can be especially problematic. The problem occurs because some of us may hesitate when we get an idea to do something when we really haven't had a plan, and we end up not really doing the activity or really engaging in it because the hesitation leads us to lose our motivation. When we don't feel motivated, we don't really give an activity our best engagement or attention. Often we don't have a routine is the problem, so we hesitate. We hesitate because we start to think about or do something, but instead of moving forward, we analyze the situation further and we consider all of our options. Anxiety sufferers in particular can keep running through their head the pros and cons of engaging in an activity, but they might never get past that. And for some sufferers, particularly if you have ADHD, you start doing something and then you move on to the next thing. You lose interest very quickly. So some of us may jump into a new activity because we've lost interest quickly. But I know that these two issues, hesitation and jumping around, might seem different. And to some extent, they certainly are different. But I think in many ways they are linked by not having a routine or a plan, and really in particular, what we want to do with ourselves. When we don't know what to do with ourselves, anxiety sufferers and ADHD sufferers, we can become very frustrated. I believe that everyone needs a routine, even lottery winners or those independently wealthy. But particularly ADHD and anxiety sufferers, if they have a routine, they can be kept very occupied every day, and this can serve us much better than just leaving days open. Now, I know it probably sounds very strange in this busy world that we live in for me talking about a problem as free time or vacations or whatever, or having too much money. But what I'm really saying is everyone can benefit from this regardless of their situation. So if you are an anxiety and ADHD sufferer and you're very busy, so let's say that you have many things to do every day, you simply don't have vacation time. We all have time to ourselves or free time where we can spend it with family, but we often don't spend it very well because we don't have a routine. We haven't planned it appropriately. We haven't thought about it from this perspective, and therefore we just sort of wing it. So this isn't just about vacations. I simply use vacations because of the timing of this podcast episode. This is not about people who are just wealthy or have too much free time in their hands. This is about everyone. Everyone has some time they can commit to themselves, but what I'm saying is they don't really commit it to themselves because they haven't developed a routine. When you're busy and you don't have a routine, that's essentially like chaos every day. And that's not necessarily a very healthy way to live. Now, as mentioned, I want to address what anxiety and ADHD sufferers can do about this challenge. For anxiety sufferers, asking yourself the following question can be very helpful. What would my life look like if I hesitated less before doing things? If I didn't analyze things so much before giving them a try? For ADHD sufferers, asking the question, how can I spend some time planning things a bit better in advance so that I don't just start them before moving on to the next activity? How can I plan things out a bit better to prevent me from jumping around so much? Can I do that? I think if you start to turn your mind to these questions, they can actually start you in the direction of planning and seeing how it's possible to plan and better be prepared in advance. And for those with both anxiety and ADHD, you can use both of these questions. When it comes to having a routine and not hesitating, I like to think of the following phrase: get busy doing something or prepare to be anxious or frustrated because of inaction.
Thank you for listening to the Panic Attack Recovery Podcast. Make sure that you have subscribed to our podcast and please comment and rate us on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. All show notes and links are accessible from our website. Please visit our site and subscribe to our free newsletter at panicattackrecovery.com. All information has been provided for educational purposes. Please consult a healthcare professional about any disorder or condition and the applicability of any information provided in this podcast.